In a remote and undisclosed location, somewhere south of Colombia, the notorious crime boss Elijah Clark engages in a secret meeting with Santiago, a local drug lord, and his son Geronimo. They present Clark with an immensely powerful superweapon capable of infiltrating and controlling computer networks worldwide. To demonstrate its capabilities, they seize control of an aircraft flying overhead, impressed by the weapon's potential. Clark double-crosses Santiago and Geronimo, eliminating them in his ruthless pursuit of obtaining the weapon for himself. However, their meeting is abruptly disrupted by a sudden police raid, forcing Clark to hastily escape. In the chaos, government agent Luis Rojas manages to acquire the weapon and takes possession of it. At the headquarters of the Central Intelligence Agency Steelin, in Langley, director Larry Marks becomes aware of Lewis's possession of the weapon and his willingness to sell it in exchange for ensuring the safety of himself and his family. Marks approaches Agent Mason Mace Brown and her partner Nick Fowler with a mission to recover the weapon. Mace and Nick devise a cover story, masquerading as a newlywed couple on their honeymoon as they embark on the operation. However, an unforeseen attraction begins to develop between the two agents. Mace and Nick travel to Paris, where they arrange to meet Lewis at a cafe to conduct the exchange. Their plan takes an unexpected turn when another agent, Marie Schmidt, posing as a cafe server, intercepts their bag. Mace pursues Marie, while Nick chases after Lewis. Mace follows Marie down into the depths of a subway station, but she manages to escape with a decoy package. Meanwhile, Nick finds himself cornered in an alley by Clark and one of his henchmen who interrogate him about the whereabouts of the weapon. Nick denies having it in his possession. Lewis retreats to his hotel room, where he is met by Graciela Rivera, a psychologist. Graciela attempts to gain Lewis's trust and uncover the location of the weapon, assuring him of her loyalty. Simultaneously, Marie meets with her superior, Jonas Muller, to share the intelligence they have gathered on Mace and Nick. Despite Jonas's initial reluctance, Marie convinces him to allow her to pursue the weapon further. Devastated by the news of Nick's apparent demise, Mace returns to Langley, where Marks informs her of the tragedy. Marks instructs Mace to continue the mission and retrieve the weapon herself. Determined to accomplish the task, Mace travels to London to seek assistance from Khadija Adiemi, an old friend and cyber intelligence expert. Initially resistant, Khadija is eventually swayed by Mace's passionate plea, understanding the grave consequences if the weapon falls into the wrong hands. Mace and Khadija collaborate to gather intelligence on Marie and Lewis in an attempt to track down the latter. Mace and Khadija eventually locate Lewis and Graciela at a factory, where Marie is also searching for them. As they close in on Lewis, one of his fellow agents betrays him, shooting him in cold blood. Meanwhile, Mace engages in a fierce battle with Marie. Khadija pursues the traitorous agent as he attempts to flee, but he manages to escape on a boat with Mace and Marie in hot pursuit. Graciela remains by Lewis's side as he succumbs to his injuries, but before passing away, he entrusts her with a phone that can only be unlocked using her fingerprint. Marie finds Graciela and takes her to a safe house, but the women are discovered by Mace and Khadija. A tense standoff ensues, but ultimately, they decide to set aside their differences and join forces. Utilizing Graciela's fingerprint and Lewis's phone, Khadija manages to trace the traitorous agent to Morocco. The team travels to Marrakesh, where they covertly trail the traitorous agent through a bustling market. Skillfully navigating the crowded streets, they intercept the agent and successfully retrieve the weapon, ensuring its safekeeping. Khadija decrypts the encrypted data stored within the weapon, and the team arranges to hand it over to Marks for analysis. Following their successful mission, the women take a moment to unwind, bonding over drinks and sharing their personal stories. They discover that Marie's father was a double agent for Russia, and Marie was forced to betray him. However, their respite is abruptly interrupted when a mysterious woman infiltrates the CIA headquarters, gunning down Director Marks, shocked and determined to uncover the truth. The women realize that the weapon has indeed fallen into the wrong hands. Returning to headquarters, they find Marks dead and are confronted by a group of CIA agents led by Grady. A tense confrontation ensues, but the women's resourcefulness and skills allow them to gain the upper hand and make a daring escape. Realizing the urgency of their mission, they decide to track down the shooter and capture him for crucial information. Marie shoots the shooter in the leg, forcing him to divulge vital details. He reveals an upcoming auction taking place in Shanghai, providing a lead for the women to follow. The team heads to Shanghai assuming disguises to infiltrate the auction. Amidst the chaos and secrecy, Graciela attracts the attention of a thug, her first real experience in the field. Mace is taken aback when she discovers that Nick is alive, only to learn that he is working with Clark and is intent on acquiring the weapon for himself. A fierce confrontation erupts as Mace fights one of Clark's goons while Nick participates in the auction. In a high-stakes moment, Nick secures the weapon just as the police close in. Seizing the opportunity, Marie creates a diversion by causing an explosion. The mysterious woman intervenes and calls off the police, bringing the ladies face-to-face with her. The woman introduces herself as Lin Maixing, a highly skilled agent from China, who has also been tracking the weapon. Lin discloses that Director Marks had been collaborating with Clark all along. To their astonishment, Lin reveals that she possesses the genuine weapon. In a fit of rage, Clark orders his men to brutally beat Nick for his betrayal. Subsequently, Nick and his goons trace the women to their safe house, where they hold their loved ones hostage. In a desperate attempt to save their families, the women reluctantly surrender the weapon to Nick. He and his men take possession of the weapon as well as Lin, who is crucial to its operation. The women regroup and discover that Lin's glasses contain a hidden camera, enabling them to track Nick's movements. Nick brings Lin to his heavily fortified hotel room, forcing her to decrypt the weapon under his watchful eye. Meanwhile, the remaining team members mount a daring assault on the hotel. A fierce firefight ensues, with the women eliminating Nick's goons one by one. In a climactic showdown, Mace confronts Nick in a life-or-death struggle. Nick shoots Marie, leaving her gravely wounded and nearly overpowers Mace. However, Graciela intervenes at the last moment, shooting Nick and saving Mace's life. As authorities descend upon the scene to arrest the women, Khadija takes the decisive action of destroying the weapon, ensuring its destructive power cannot be unleashed. 2 months later, the team finds themselves still grappling with the aftermath of their mission. Nick manages to track down and eliminate Clark, securing his position within the CIA as the new director. With the assistance of Grady, he launches a relentless manhunt for Mace and the rest of the team as they are falsely reported as fugitives on the run. However, unbeknownst to Nick, Mace takes matters into her own hands. Determined to bring Nick to justice, Mace discovers his location at his heavily guarded home. Realizing that she cannot confront him alone, she reaches out to Khadija, Graciela, Marie, and Lin for support, united by their shared mission and the desire to hold Nick accountable for his crimes. They gather at Nick's residence, prepared to apprehend him. In a tense confrontation, Mace and her team confront Nick in his own home. They present him with the evidence of his treachery and the harm he has caused. Nick, filled with arrogance and a false sense of invincibility. Realizing the gravity of his situation, Nick attempts to negotiate his way out, promising to cooperate and provide vital information. But the team has had enough of his deceit and manipulation. They reveal their true intentions. To ensure that Nick faces international justice for his crimes, in a dramatic turn of events, they administer a powerful sedative to Nick, rendering him unconscious. They are resolute in their decision to deliver him to the authorities and hold him accountable for the lives he has endangered and the chaos he has unleashed. With Nick incapacitated, the women leave his residence, knowing that they have achieved a significant victory. For now, they go their separate ways, resuming their individual lives. As they disperse, each member of the team carries with them the experiences they shared, their camaraderie, the sacrifices made, and the lives lost. They are forever connected by the bond forged in the face of danger and their unwavering commitment to protecting the world from those who seek to harm it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and turn on notifications to stay updated for more thrilling content.